the opposite of feminism is not chivalry.
It's rampant, the inability to accept a compliment.
My hypothesis is that people are happier to not know that you left.
The way that there are love languages, I feel like there's
Yeah.
probably like respect languages.
I don't know. My mom's just like a hot bitch.
It's an intimacy, delight, joy, mixing it up, playful adventure too.
Hey, welcome back. This is Not For Everyone. I'm Jess. That's Caroline. We're two babies laying in our beds and talking about stuff. Tell me some stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you stuff. Guys, well, first of all, I broke my microphone about 20 seconds ago. So
Hmm.
I'm using a less than perfect microphone today in case my voice doesn't sound as piercing and grating and chalk nails on a chalkboard as usual. That's why.
It might sound more, in which case, go off, Queen. It's on brand.
Okay. Here's my queen go off for the day. I
Yes.
have you seen on like social media and stuff those people posting like their acts of micro-feminism?
No.
Okay, maybe
I'm
it was
kind
just
of glad that I haven't.
oh
I'm
no, I
like
like
already
it.
annoyed. It's cute.
No, I like it.
Okay, tell me more then. Maybe I'm not understanding.
I like it. Maybe okay, so maybe it's not a trend. Maybe it's just like one reel I saw. But this one reel I watched it a lot of times. And it's a bunch of different girls like in a montage. Maybe it's like coworkers in an office and they made a reel together that's like my act of micro feminism, blah 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 blah. And I'm trying to think of the examples. Like one girl is like, I just had a baby, and when a heterosexual couple, like a man and a woman, come over to visit me and the baby, I immediately put the baby in the man's arms. Women are always holding babies. We're tired of it. Like
That's funny.
you can hold a baby, like hold it. But it's like one of those little things where um a lot of people's default would just be like, let's give the woman the baby, la 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 la, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so it's not fake feminism. I think when I first
I
heard
think
it,
that's real
I
feminism.
agree. When I first heard you say it, though, I was bracing myself for something like
Stupid.
that's showy feminism that's not actually feminism. And I thought you were going to be annoyed about it, as I would have been.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
legit. I
I
like
think
it.
the topic of showy feminism is very interesting to me because I think about like everybody I've been in a relationship with has always like voted the same way as me, um, believed the same things as me. I've dated a lot of men who like they voted very liberally. I don't, not to try not to bring my politics into here, but I think it's clearer if you read between the lines. I'm a pretty liberal
Yeah.
person. And, anyone I've ever dated has been the same. But just because you vote one way, like vote liberally and like say you stand for women's rights, like I don't see a lot of people upholding that. And to me, it's actually more important those micro things day to day. Like what do you expect out of me as a woman? What do you not
Hmm.
expect out of me as a woman, especially as your partner? And I think it's really easy to like post the right social media posts. I think there's like a kind of maybe this is mean, but I also think there's a kind of guy who claims to be a feminist just for like social clout and social currency, but and they might go to all the marches and post all the right things and say the right things, but they don't fucking do the day-to-day shit that I think actually matters and makes me feel like you see me and other women and like the boxes we've traditionally been put into and the limitations. And it's like to me there's like macro feminism, which I guess is like legislation and rights and international things. And then in a very advanced, very luxurious country you and I are living in, very fortunate to live in, I think it a lot of the day to day that matters to me is it's macro, but it's also the micro of things like who do you make hold the baby, who do you make change
Hmm.
the diaper, and a million other things. But I don't know. I love that stuff. Um, because yeah,
We
I think
talked
it's
about it a while ago, and I
did we?
think we we were saying, I mean, I still feel this way, like there are a lot of gestures that
Yeah,
get tripped up as feminism, like get conflated with a man being feminist of like, I don't know. I think the opposite of feminism is not chivalry. Like there is a notion that chivalry is anti-feminist. And
That
I see
chivalry
that,
is?
yes, because chivalry
Oh,
is like a guy, yeah, the idea that like the man has to inhabit a heteronormative, gender normative like role in a dynamic with a woman and like hold the door for her or be the one who makes all the money and brings home the bacon and goes to work while she's at home. Like, I'm stretching it, but like the basics of chivalry being like holding the door for somebody.
yeah.
I feel like that gets conflated with the
Oh,
idea
like the opposite?
of yeah, like they're not the opposite. They can coexist. But I feel like sometimes people simplify feminism to be like, well, I can hold my own door. And it's like, that's not really anything of what it's about, to me
Yeah,
anyway.
no, I still want you to hold the door for me for sure.
Yeah,
And I don't think that's like, having my cake and eat it too. It's complicated. I don't
that's
think
what
I
people will say
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Well, you know what? People can say what they want. You can feel that way if you want to. That's not what makes me feel empowered.
Hmm.
And I
Totally agree.
actually it's funny. I feel like this could be a fun thing to talk through live because I definitely don't have all the articulation for it. I don't have all my thoughts together, but I do feel like I'm a strong feminist and I definitely feel like um at least maybe with a romantic partner. I guess maybe it's different what you expect from like my male partner as opposed to just any man around the world. But I at
Hmm.
least maybe those are the differences. But like, I don't know, thinking about Justin, like he takes such good care of me and is so chivalrous and I it's almost like it's like unnecessary amounts of all those
Hmm.
like, you know, I think it's possible to all at once treat a woman like this like soft, precious, like person who deserves to be protected and also like respect and empower her. I just really don't see why those things need to
Yeah.
conflict. And it doesn't make me feel less strong or less smart or less capable that he always holds the door for me or makes sure that that he walks on like the outside traffic side of the sidewalk or um you know looks out for me when we're on like a weird street corner or I don't know, that doesn't fly in the face of feminism to me. Like I'm okay, like to me that it actually supports it being like
Hmm.
I do so much and women traditionally do so much hard labor all day long in the home. Like most of the young feminist men I know have not caught on to splitting labor in the home. And it's labor, it's physical, it takes the toll, it's movement all day long. And most like men, even our generation, who are like the best men and definitely feminists and supportive and respectful, weren't raised seeing an equal division of labor in the home. So I think that's one area where I'm like, there's so much labor going on there. You can hold the door for me.
Hmm.
I don't know. Those things just they don't conflict.
I
I
totally agree
absolutely,
with
you know
you.
what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
totally agree with you. This is exactly what I was getting at because I do
totally.
think that
Yes, I
there's
see what you're
a
saying.
outdated or inaccurate version of feminism that I think less people feel and think this way now, but I think when feminism was like first coming on the scene, there was a little bit of that, of like an overcorrection and this
There's been
like,
different waves of it. Yeah.
yeah, like this indignation against like those chivalrous acts or being taken care of by a man. And I think that you can and ideally have both. I don't think that they are at odds with
Yeah.
one another. And I think I don't even think chivalry has a place in the feminism conversation. Like I just think it's a
Yeah.
different topic. But a lot of people, those are some of the first things that they tend to bring up when talking
Yeah.
about feminism. And it's like, that's not what I'm talking about at all when I
Yeah.
think of it. But now I feel like we should define what we are talking about, you
Well,
know?
I like what you're saying and I I agree with it. And I can also see like why the different waves of feminism came the way that they did.
Hmm.
Even thinking on a micro level, when I just as one single person came out of like a relationship where I didn't feel I had a lot of independence, I didn't have a voice, I didn't have a say, I didn't feel respected, I wasn't listened to. When I got out of that relationship, I became hyper individualistic and I wanted to do everything for myself. And that felt really great and really empowering for where I was and what I was coming out of. And so it's not like I'm not trying to shoot that down. I think, feminism
Yeah,
should probably be like whatever makes you feel respected. Because there's like the like macro level, but there's also, I think, like the individual level, and that's probably different for everybody. But then once I got into this like a new relationship, I think we've talked about we both like kept up those walls. I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to take care of me. But
hmm,
there's also a level of vulnerability and intimacy to trust someone with the parts of you that are vulnerable. I don't have to pretend like parts of me aren't vulnerable. I can be a whole person. And I think yeah, I don't know. I love being taken care of. And I feel like I also take care of Justin. It's
that's
not
what I
like
was gonna
I
say.
think that's the thing is that
Yep.
we do like we try to do so much caretaking for each other. It's not the one way thing. But
That's
yeah,
exactly what I was thinking. Like, feminism traditionally is defined as like equality between men and women. And I think there have been periods where people try to make it something different. People try to make it that
we're the same.
women want to
That we're the
be
same.
that we're the same. Equal
We're not the
doesn't mean the
same.
same.
Not
Yes,
the
equal
same,
doesn't mean the
y'all.
same. But if caretaking is happening in both directions and it takes different forms and it shows up in different
Yeah.
ways at different times, that to me is in line with feminism because it's that equality that I'm looking for. Like, Ryan takes so much care of me. He's the one that cooks dinner for us most nights. He's the one that like thinks about certain things around the house. We only have lived together for 2 weeks and I'm already like seeing how he
Yeah.
just like notices little things that need to be addressed and like does his own research and planning to get them done. Um, and it's like whether that is traditionally masculine or feminine or whatever the fuck it is, it's helpful. And it's something that I don't have time or have interest in doing. And so
Mm-hmm.
he's doing it. And in turn, like I do the dishes and I think about different aspects of our life and it just goes back and forth and I don't know, like it's just that back and forth that I think did not exist historically and does not exist still in probably many relationships and definitely on a more macro level, like in the working world, in government, like in places where women and men are not represented equally. Um, but when it comes to my life and the way that my relationships look, and especially with my romantic partner, like all it is equality. Like we're doing this together. I don't want to
Yeah.
be less than. You holding the door for me doesn't make me less than. It's just like
Yeah.
you being kind and treating me sweetly. And in turn, I'm kind and
Yeah.
treat you sweetly because I brought you a piece of pie yesterday. Like it can look different, but
Yeah.
both are taking care of each other. And that's what it is. That's what how
Yeah.
feminism I think shows up in
In your
sounds like
life.
both of our relationships. Yeah.
When you were talking about that, it made me feel like the way that there are love languages, I feel like there's
Yeah.
probably like respect languages and like
Mm.
what's the thing that makes you feel respected? And that can be different for everybody, and also probably different depending on what relationship you're talking about, whether it's at work or romantically or with your family or with your friends. And thinking like romantically, um, I definitely feel like respected as a woman when I'm treated as like yes, respect my intellect and my capabilities and my agency and all of that, but also I think a big deal for me is to be treated as fucking precious and
Hmm.
sweet and like something to be protected in a way. And maybe not all women relate to that, but I do think a lot do.
Yeah.
And
I think it wasn't cool to say for
yeah,
a little
I think
bit,
it wasn't cool to say, but I think that like if
but
most
it's true.
people, I think I've heard that from a lot of women. If I'm being honest, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I don't think Justin feels the same. I don't think that he I do protect him in lots of ways, but I don't think he wants to feel
Mm-hmm.
like um it's not quite the same. And I think what I've learned for a lot of men is the way they feel respected is like caring about their judgment, caring about their discernment, that and not that it's like Justin has judgment and discernment and I don't, but I feel like I try to take special care to, I don't know, just like special care and attention to that.
Yeah.
And also love him in all the other like classic ways that we share. But I feel like there are some like, I don't know, general themes for a lot of guys, maybe not all, and for a lot of women. And those things don't feel like they come into conflict with me. But do you want to hear about my active microfeminism?
Oh my God, yeah, all the way back
Okay.
to where we started.
Sorry, I went on such a
No, this
tangent,
was
but
such a
I
good
liked
tangent.
that.
I have more to say about it probably, but go ahead.
Totally. We could do episodes and episodes about it. Um, so I decided my active microfeminism, and I'm really passionate about this, and I want to spread this like a venereal disease to everyone listening to the podcast, is that
Like a venereal disease, there's
the
a Lil Wayne song that
is there
says, yeah, it's like
feminist?
a menstrual bleed. I think
Oh,
it's a Millie. Yeah, a Millie by Lil Wayne.
a
Look it up.
millie,
Yeah.
a menstrual bleed. Feminist for sure. Okay, my act of microfeminism is that I'm trying my best when somebody pays me a sincere compliment, I just say thank you. I
Oh, hell
accept it.
yeah.
I do not say, okay, just give me a compliment. Because let's do a little dress rehearsal. Let's do a little role play of what usually happens. And this is not limited to women, but it's definitely um
I know
an
exactly what
ugly
happens.
it's an ugly
Yeah.
value that's taught to women. Okay, give me rattle off a couple of compliments. I'll respond one at a time.
You have great eyebrows. They're looking really good today.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I really need to get them plucked more. Like, I don't know. I feel like they're thinning out, or I'm not even sure if this is the right brow pencil.
Your sweater looks really comfy. I love it.
Oh, I didn't even know what to wear today. I feel like I'm like overdressed and like, I don't know. I feel like I'm probably wearing the wrong thing. You
Cute
like it?
earrings. Those are cute earrings.
What? These are like the most basic earrings ever. I don't know. I feel like I always love your earrings.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The last one that is classic is the compulsion to be like, oh, I
To
got it on
compliment the other
sale.
one. I got it on sale.
I
Yes.
got it on sale.
Talk,
Oh, it's from
Someone else hunt
Nordstrom
it
Rack. It's
down.
really cheap and it's like
Yeah.
basically worth
It's
nothing.
not
Like,
special. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Compliment my skills or character or talent.
Mm. I thought that what you said about feminism was so spot on and it really got me thinking. You're so insightful.
Oh God, no. I feel like no. If you want to talk to someone insightful, like you have to talk to like my sister and my friend Tessa. I feel like anything good I've learned, I've just like picked up from them. And I don't
Right.
know. I don't
So
like
humble. What a humble queen,
what
but
a humble,
not. It's
right?
the worst. Yeah.
Because humility, niceness, being deferential, deferring is like these are alleged values that are shoved down the throat of girls at a very young age. And no, not every girl, and no, it's not just girls, but it's much more common to deflect a compliment. Don't ever don't ever like don't ever be seen thinking you're good at something. Don't ever be
Hmm.
seen saying like, yes, I do have worth in this way. You're always supposed to deflect. If someone says you're pretty, you kind of deflect. If it's someone says you're talented, you kind of deflect. I do it all the time. You do it all the time. Like we do it all the time. I
Hmm.
was thinking about it. I got I kind of got like a hate comment on YouTube the other day where it was actually on this that ad I did that kind of went viral for Bombas, and it's
The
super
first one?
silly. Yes, it's super silly and it's super stupid, and it's like I'm hamming it up. I'm doing what I do best. And
Right.
my sister Elizabeth has she loves the ads, which touches me so much because she's someone who like knows me
Hmm.
and whatever. I don't know, that always feels more special. And she was like, that performance you do during these stupid sock ads is so great because that is what you've done your entire life. That's what you've done at home
Mm,
with the siblings, and you found a way to like make money from it that's obscene.
that's
And it's
everything.
true. It's a part of me. This is like the ham, silly, like goofing off, can't sit still at the dining table Caroline, who was always like sent away to sit in a corner because I was like being too disruptive or whatever. It's who I've always been. It's a part of my personality. And I got a comment that was like, some older woman being like, I feel like you think you are just so cute and so funny, unsubscribe.
Oh my God. The
And
jealousy.
I wanted to write this whole diatribe back. And what occurred to me, like, first, it felt so hurtful to be like caught thinking I'm cute, to be caught
Yeah.
thinking I'm
How
funny.
dare you?
And then I thought about it and I was like, I do think I'm really cute. And I
Yeah.
do think I'm really funny. And that is why I'm a fucking performer. And I turned a camera on. I didn't turn a camera on and choreograph a performance because I thought it was
Thinking you were
horrible.
gross. Yeah.
I did it because I think it's something I'm good at. And I think this is the way that I like bring people joy. And it's the talent I've had my whole life. And like, yeah, I've identified my talent. I think
Hmm.
I'm good at it. That's why I made a YouTube channel, you dim-witted bitch. And that's not exactly what I wrote back, but it
Did you
was,
write something back or you
I
just
did
thought
write
about
something
it?
back. I did
Yeah.
write something back and I kind of talked about this whole thing I've been I talked about my knee-jerk reaction, which was actually to like explain why I don't think I'm funny and cute. But I was
Right.
like, no, I do, and that's okay. Like it's okay that this is my talent and I've identified it. And you definitely don't have to like it, but everybody who likes what I make and what I do and how I entertain likes me for that thing.
Yeah.
And it's like that piece of advice I heard one time, I think I've shared before, of like, why would I go changing the thing that everybody who loves me loves about me just to please the people who don't get me?
Yeah.
This woman doesn't get me, and that's nothing against her. She shouldn't watch my channel. It's definitely not for her. Hashtag not for everyone. But it also just made me think about like how uncomfortable it felt in that moment to say, oh, I do feel confident in this quality about myself. This is my talent. I am comfortable acknowledging that I know what I'm good at.
Hmm.
And so now I'm trying to do it. This is my micro-feminism. When someone pays me a compliment of being like, oh my God, that was so funny. Oh my God, you're so talented. I just say, thank you. It doesn't have to be a big deal. I don't have to say, go on. Sometimes I do, but
I
like
say that all the time. Yeah.
all the time, because compliments, but just to like stand firmly and very grounded in your own feet and be like, thank you. And you can continue the conversation and not deflect it. It feels shockingly hard to do, shockingly uncomfortable. And all the women I really look up to and admire do this really well.
Hmm.
And when they do it, I don't think what an egotistical,
Hmm.
hubris ridden bitch. I just feel like, wow, I wish I could embody that kind of composure and healthy self esteem. So I'm working on it.
I love it. This is something that I actually think I do really well. I have not
Yeah.
always done it really well, but a couple years ago, it occurred to me, or somebody talked about it on a podcast or something like that. And I just realized how I usually agree when someone compliments me. That part has
Totally.
never been hard for me. Like, I agree. I have great eyebrows. I'm funny. I'm cute. I'm talented. I'm smart. I'm whatever. Like, I know all the things that I am, and I've always
I'm not an
had
idiot. I know these things.
I see me. I see. I have eyes. I don't know. Like I know the things that are great about me and I know that there are a lot of them. And I also know the things that are not so great about me and I work on those things. And so I
Right.
think because of both sides of that, because I have a clear picture of both sides of that and like who I am and what I have to offer, and I've developed that so much in my adult life, it was a natural step in that progression to start accepting compliments more
Yeah.
readily. Cause like my thought would always be, I get compliments on my eyebrows a lot. I have always liked my eyebrows. I know that it's something that people see and are like, "Oh, how can I get those?" It's whatever. It's a small part of my face that I know is good. And I so like I would receive a compliment and agree with it, but then still my compulsion would be to find some way, not necessarily to like belittle myself, but to be like, oh, you can have this too, which I guess is
Yeah,
belittling
kind
myself. It's
to
like,
immediately take the spotlight off of the
yeah, oh,
compliment.
it's the
It's
benefit brow
so
pencil.
yeah,
Like,
immediately get the light off of you. Immediately
Yes,
get the
even
compliment off
though
of you.
in my
Goodbye.
heart, when I
Yeah.
receive the compliment, I'm like, that felt so good. And I agree with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, at some point, I just was like, if I agree with them, then
What
I'm
am I
going to
doing
act
here?
like it.
Yeah.
And I just started saying thank you. And it feels great. It makes me feel empowered every time.
Hmm.
I don't like doing the thing, and I try not to do the thing where I like immediately bounce back with a compliment to the other person
It
because I
always
feel
feels
like that
insincere.
cheapens, right?
Yeah.
It cheapens me complimenting them about something that it's a reaction to them complimenting me about something. Let it be what it is and
Yeah.
move on. And what if and when there's an opportunity to compliment them on something else and it's genuine in the moment, then of course go for it. Yeah, I think this is a huge step in any woman's like self-love journey.
Yeah.
It really changes how you walk around, I think. And I think it also makes it easier to compliment other people when you do want to do that. Like I
Yeah.
make a point, even if I'm just at CVS checking out and I really like the woman's nails. Like I make a point to say those things out loud and say them to the people. I love giving compliments to like random strangers. And
Yeah.
it's something that I like to put out into the world and and it's very genuine. I'm not like walking around looking and making sure, oh, let me get my compliment that I give someone each day. It's like I'll
Yeah.
see something, I like it and I want to say that. And I feel like the reason that I'm so free in doing so is because I'm equally free in accepting them myself. And it
That's
just
nice.
makes the whole thing happier. Yeah, like more supportive. I don't know. I really like that you're
Hmm.
doing that. I had another thought, but I can't think of it. But
I
yeah.
think it's also, I think about like the example I want to set for a daughter or any younger women. And it's like, if I don't demonstrate that it's okay to accept a compliment confidently and not obnoxiously and acknowledge that you have value, then how are they going to do it?
Hmm.
I think that's how we got in this place. And um, I think it's also just like a little micro reminder to me. I'm like, okay, I'm accepting this fucking compliment. This feels uncomfortable. I'm accepting this compliment. And it's a little micro reminder to like hold on to, yeah, I think to just like hold your head up, kind of. Oh, speaking
To
of holding
feel
my head up,
seen.
I have to I have to lean this way. I just did 9 hours of editing and my back hurts. I
Oh,
don't know why I can't lay back right now.
oh, that's okay. We said at the beginning before we started recording that we would look up at the ceiling, not look at each other. And like immediately from the first words, I was like, actually, I feel like looking at her. So
I
this
think
way,
we're just in love. I think we're just
we're
looking
just
at
in
each
love.
other.
I'm like
Yeah.
literally also, when you have a Zoom open and the tendency is to look at yourself, but like I'm actually
Yeah.
looking in your eyes for the
Me
majority of
too.
this. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
I was looking in your eyes. Your eyes were doing adorable, hilarious things when you were describing your own eyebrows. You were like looking into like another world. You were like, and my eyebrows, they're a small part of my face. That was so funny. I loved it.
I love my eyebrows. My Instagram bio is compliment my eyebrows. This is my favorite compliment.
Oh, that's good.
It's a good one. Um, I don't
Yeah.
know why I thought of this. You were talking about setting an example for a daughter or young women in general. And I do think like part of the reason I am this way and like so accepting of compliments about myself is because of my mom. Like
Mm.
I've always seen her be that way. She's very confident and very like I don't know. My mom's just like a hot bitch. Like she has
Hmm.
big boobs and like she would show them, like she would wear outfits that like flattered her cleavage and she wouldn't shy away from doing that at like a Christmas party with a bunch of Stone Ridge parents from our high school and like she just knows that she's hot shit and she likes to show it off. And I definitely think that I got a little bit of that from her. And it was funny. I was home a couple weeks ago and um she showed me this baby picture of me that she had dug up when they were moving from our like childhood house. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I was such a cute baby. I used to be so cute." And then we both paused and at the same time we go, I said, I'm still cute. And my mom said, you're still cute. And like it was just like a
No.
cute, like we are too self-loving in this in
Yeah.
this dynamic. But I do
Oh,
think it's important to have those examples around you and
yeah.
to do it in small ways and big ways. It could be seen as vain, and
But
I
that's the
don't
whole
think
problem.
that's
I think it to say, but when I see a woman I admire, when I'm like, wow, I loved your film, and they're just like, thank you. Like just sincerely thanking you.
right,
I never think that's vain. Or,
right.
someone I think it's more uncomfortable with physical appearance compliments where
Yeah,
you're like, oh, you look so you're so beautiful, you're so pretty. You just say, that's so kind of you to say. I, I'm feeling
yeah,
pretty tonight. I don't,
right.
uh, I never judge it as I never judge that kind of a reception as vain in people.
You
And if
know,
somebody did, like, I actually think the woman who commented on my video, who knows what she was responding to in her own head and heart and past.
mhm,
But I experience usually the most, unfortunately, I experience a lot of the most, not a lot, but I experience a lot of misogyny from women in that way because
mhm.
we perpetrate it. Um, or what propagate it? What's the word I'm fucking thinking of?
I think propagate
Perpetrate,
maybe.
propagate. We continue the cycle.
Perpetuate, perpetuate.
Perpetuate. We perpetuate it. And yeah, I think you perpetuate it if you've learned or been taught that it's not ladylike to acknowledge that you're good at something, then you are turned off when other people do it. But
Mhm.
someone has to break the cycle. And I,
You
I
know,
think it's rampant. It's rampant, the inability to accept a compliment.
I heard this on a podcast and it was like data backed or whatever. This is science.
It's science.
Um, when somebody gives you a compliment, the best thing you can do to actually make them feel good, the tendency is often like to compliment them
Mm-hmm.
in return. But the best thing you can do to make them feel good is accept the compliment as you're talking about and like basically tell them they were right, like validate it. So if somebody compliments your shirt, it's like, thank you. This is my favorite shirt. Thank you. I love this shirt.
That's so true. Because if you say, "Oh no, I feel like I look so
Right.
stupid,"
Then they feel dumb.
it kind of leaves me feeling dumb. I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, fucking now, what are we going to talk about? I guess I was wrong.
Right. It makes the other person feel uncomfortable. They went out on a limb to give you a compliment. Take the fucking compliment. That was bold of them.
Yeah,
And even more so, if it feels correct to you, like reassure the compliment.
you're
Yeah,
feeling
this is my
nasty
favorite
about
shirt.
it.
Yeah, I'm feeling really cute today. Yeah, I did my hair extra. Like you can validate it
This is
and
yeah.
everybody feels good.
If somebody says a compliment I'm uncomfortable with, I'm just going to say yes, I'm nasty.
That's a good answer.
Yes, I'm fucking nasty in
That
a
you
good
can
way.
that's a response to everything. Yeah.
Nasty.
Nasty.
Yes, I'm fucking nasty. Okay, what else?
Perfect. What else? What
I have
else?
I have a lot of things to say today. I can keep going.
I allow you to do so. I mean, I have some things, but none of them are that
Do you
hot,
want
that nasty.
you don't want to do one? You don't want to do a nasty?
Okay, I can do one nasty.
Yeah, do one.
I'll do one nasty.
Do one, please.
Oh, I don't know if this is a topic. I think it is. I have realized
Oh,
that
uh-oh.
I have become an Irish goodbyer
Love. Oh, so
and
much respect. So
I'm
nasty.
obsessed.
So
So nasty.
nasty.
I'm
So
obsessed. It's
nasty.
addictive. I never want to stop. More, give me what's that TikTok sound? Give me 14 of them right now. Like I love doing an Irish goodbye. I don't know. I know we have some international listeners, so if that's not a phrase that is widely known, that's basically when you leave a party without saying bye to anyone, without telling anyone. You
I
just
call
walk
it
the fuck out.
yeah, I call it leaving a party.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I used to be the person that would like go around and hug everyone and thank them and
30
say, we
more
should get
minutes of the
coffee.
party.
We should get that coffee that we said we were going to get.
No. No, I just saw you. No.
It's terrible. And this weekend, I Irish goodbyed, not just from any party, I Irish goodbyed from my friend's bachelorette party. I did say bye to her,
Yeah.
But I limited my goodbyes because everyone's dancing, having a good time at this bar. I'm tired. I've had a long couple weeks. I just moved. My house is around the corner and I just want to be in my bed. And
Yeah.
it's after midnight. It's like I've done my due diligence here. I've done everything I can do. And going around to say bye to everyone was going to disrupt them from their good time.
Yeah.
It was gonna draw attention to me leaving early.
Yes.
And it was just gonna like throw off the vibes.
It was
And
take
I
30 more minutes
left.
to get out of there.
And exactly.
And you're right, it then reminds people, then they feel like they're losing something. But if you
Yes.
just let people enjoy their evening and then later they're like, where'd Jess go? And someone's like,
Right.
she went home. It's also worse when you go and you try. I think you should say goodbye to the host or
Yep.
say goodbye to whoever brought you to the party.
Yep.
Don't fuck off on them. But other than that, like, if you say goodbye to like three people and then not the other six, then people are butthurt because they're like, oh, I wasn't important enough to say goodbye to. No, fuck off on all of them. All
Yeah.
of them.
I just decided that the impact it has on other people is actually the pros outweigh the cons of it. Like the
Yes.
pro of not ruining somebody's night by pulling them away from their dancing to be like, I'm going home. And now they have to say bye and they have to
Yes,
think about,
say the right
should I go
thing.
home? Is it really late? Should I go home?
No.
And now I'm not dancing anymore. And I'm wondering if Jess was upset or something. Like, I don't know. You could just trigger a lot of like awkward and down thoughts by disrupting someone's good time and saying bye to them
Yeah.
as
Did you say this
opposed
was
to
data? Did you say this was science? How was this
no,
science?
no, no, the data was the thing I was saying before about
Oh.
the
Oh, compliments?
compliments.
Okay, I
And
blacked out for a little bit. That's right.
this is a different
Well,
topic. We're on a different topic.
I really wanted to hear data about Irish goodbyes.
I
About like
think
people are happier if you don't say
yes,
goodbye.
my hypothesis is that people are happier to not know that you left than they
Yeah.
would be if they knew that you were leaving and then they were
Yeah.
disrupted from their night, and they will get over the fact that you did not say bye to them. Guess what? You're
Yeah.
gonna see them again. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fine. You
I
can
think
also
it's
send a text or like whatever. It's all
I
fine.
I think it's very rare that I've seen people get upset that you just leave because I think people will also assume that you did some goodbyes and they missed you. They were in the bathroom
Yes,
or
they were in
they
the
were doing
bathroom.
something else. It was their fault.
Hmm.
Make them think it was their fault. Gaslight
Hmm.
your goodbyes. That's a joke, but I do think that's what people think. And no one takes it that harsh. Like, that happens even without people intending it to. But if sometimes people do get upset, but here's what I'll tell you, if you're gonna try to Irish goodbye, the longer you do it and the longer you're known for it, the
Yeah.
less people care. And they're just like, oh, that's Caroline. She doesn't, she's gone.
Yeah,
She
I
doesn't.
agree. And I'm slowly but surely
Yes.
transitioning into that person. I've never been
Yes.
that person. And I've had
Oh,
friends who are those people, and I've never once been upset with them. And you're right. And then at some point you start to think of them as like, that's just what they do. It's not a big deal. And I want to be that. I want to be that.
you
I
are
want
that.
no one to be
You're
concerned
nasty.
about where I am. I'm
Yeah.
fine. You can call me if you're concerned. It's
Hey,
fine.
Jess, I'm going to give you a compliment. You are very good at Irish goodbyes.
Thank you. I'm nasty.
You're nasty. Yes. So I'm very passionate about Irish goodbyes. And it's actually mostly because my family, my extended Winkler family, they are fucking so atrocious with goodbyes. Very
So is
big
mine.
family, very big family. And this is what will happen is that we've been at a fucking Christmas dinner all night long. And Uncle John hasn't spoken to me the entire time. But if I go and say goodbye to everybody and I'll be like, I'm heading out. It was so great to see you. I love you. I'll see you in the new year. Then he goes, oh my gosh, I didn't get to hear that much. How's the job going? And I'm like,
No.
no, no, no. This is not when we start the conversation. You had an opportunity for the last 8 hours. This is not when it starts. But it's so unfair, completely unacceptable. Huge social faux pas because now it puts me in an unwinnable position where
Hmm.
I either have to stay and have the conversation or I have to be rude to you. And I really don't know which one I'm going to do, but neither
Hmm.
is going to be fun. And I've talked to Justin about this. I've like tried to relay it to him, this phenomenon for months. And he didn't fully get it until he was at an extended family dinner the other night. And like three different aunts or uncles fucking hit him with this. I'm going away. I've been saying goodbye for 10 minutes. Now tell me about how's your job going. Now tell me about your family.
That's
And he
wild.
was like, oh my fucking God. Eventually I just like pushed him into the driveway. I was just like, run to the car. Like, I'll find you there. And he was like, I understand. So my family, I think, has trained me in this without intending it. All of my siblings are very big Irish goodbyers because you can't it's the only way to survive.
My family does a different version of that that is like equally annoying, but just in a different way, where we say goodbye so many times.
Yeah.
We're at Christmas dinner. We've been hanging out for hours. Finally, the folks who don't live there are getting up and they're ready to drive home and leave. We say goodbye in the living room and we do our hugs. And then
Yeah.
we walk and
The
follow them to the
foyer.
front door. And then we might exchange more
New,
hugs at the front
new
door. We
conversation.
have a little conversation, you know what, and then we like stand on the porch and like watch them drive away like all
Yeah. Yeah.
dramatic.
Yeah.
And I don't know, my uncle might forget whether there's a bunch of people, so we all go around and hug each other. Every single pair of people hugs each other. But my
No.
uncle
Why?
might forget if I was the first hug that he got back in the living room, he might forget that he already hugged Jessica. So now
No.
when we're out on the porch saying goodbye, he might
Oh,
re-hug me
no one's
because
keeping
he's like, "Did I
score.
hug Jessica? It's gonna be okay.
Gonna be
It's
okay.
gonna be okay. I love
Just
you."
relieve. This is some high anxiety people. I feel like this is also the way girls say goodbye after
Yeah.
like any fucking average Tuesday lunch. And I'm going to see them tomorrow. And it's like, goodbye, goodbye. I had a great time.
Oh
I love you. I love you. Goodbye. I
my
had a great
God.
time. I love you. And I'll see you later. I'll text you later. And my mom is also a big offender. My mom is one of those parents who, like, as soon as she knows you're leaving, she gets kind of upset and a little stressed
Kind of
out. And
sad.
yeah, kind of sad, and it comes out in different ways, which I
Hmm.
think like a lot of parents
My mom
love
does that
them.
a little.
I know. And it can come out different ways with my mom. She'll start like coming up with to-do list items or like things she was supposed to ask you about, like, oh, did you have that skirt you wanted to hem, or did you want to get that lamp out of the attic? I'm like, no, I'm fucking in the car. And it's so intense that I've learned, I get into my car once I've made it to my fucking car. If I had to say goodbye to someone, because if I'm just there with my mom and dad, I won't Irish goodbye.
Yeah.
So I say goodbye, I get into my car, and usually, it takes like 2 minutes to, connect the phone to Bluetooth, put my drink, get my water open, get my playlist on or put on a podcast, pull up directions wherever I'm. No, there's no time. Get in the car immediately. I pull 2 blocks around the corner into my own neighborhood and park 2 blocks away. And then I get situated, because sitting in the driveway in my car is a fucking danger zone. It's a minefield. And you
Wow.
can't, my mom will come back out and somehow get me back into the attic or something. So you can't sit in the driveway
Hmm.
at my parents' house.
I love these types of things. And I totally agree about the girls, like just a group of
Oh
girlfriends
my
overly
God.
saying
Oh
goodbye.
my
I have
God.
stopped. I've always been a hugger because I'm the lover. Like I love hugging people. I'm not weird about physical touch in that way. Like if you want to hug, I'll hug you at any time. I'm
Great
down
hugs
for a
too.
hug.
You give
Thank you
great
so
hugs.
much. But I have actually started to be more withholding with my hugs because it has
Oh,
gotten out of control. The
yeah.
number of hugs that need to be exchanged on a weekend where one of our friends is in town and the rest of us live here in Chicago, and we're all going to see each other multiple days in a row because this friend is in town.
Oh my
And
God.
we have to hug after every event. It's like, I'm going to see you tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
it's all good. Like I we can hug on the first meeting and the last meeting on the 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
that?
Bookend them. Bookend them with hugs.
Bookend
No
them.
one touches
We
in between.
don't need to hug every time. And like people will get up from where they're sitting to
But you know what?
deliver the
I do.
hug.
I'm the one who does that too. And I also think it's ridiculous. And it's an anxiety thing for sure. I
Yeah.
think for most people. But like, I'm also like, are you sure you're not mad at me? Are you sure this was okay? Are we sure we ended on a good note? And I'll do the 3 hugs. It's insanity.
I know. I mean, I have done it, of course, and I will
I
do it, but
know.
I've started to be a little bit more withholding
Ugh.
where like if we're sitting at a
Yeah.
restaurant
Okay.
and somebody arrives late and the rest of us are seated and I'm in the booth in the
Yeah.
corner,
Oh, she's in a booth? No way.
we're not all getting up to
Yeah.
hug the person. It is
No.
okay. Hi,
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see you. I'm tucked into the booth. I'm not going to get up and hug you. Like
Right.
I'm going to knock over the waiter. That is not required,
No,
especially if I've
not
seen
good.
you yesterday and I'm going to see you tomorrow. Like
That is a
if I haven't
perfect.
seen you in 2 years, okay, maybe I'll get up. If you're my mom, maybe I'll get up. But like
Yeah.
Beyond that, we're not doing this.
I think that's a perfect opportunity for the move of grabbing, taking the hand and kissing their rings. That's why
I
we have. That's why
kiss
we
the ring,
have
baby.
that. You kiss the rings. I'll show you respect. If you want to feel my lips, you can have my lips. But I'm not standing. I'm not going to crawl under the table of this booth so that I can press my boobs against you.
Yeah, that is what it is. I'll give you my straight
I'll
up
give you my
lips.
boobs. I'll give you my fucking lips. You want the lips? I'll give you the lips. Okay, we
This was a
tackled that.
fruitful conversation.
Yeah. Okay, I have another tip.
Okay, please
Okay.
give me the tip.
I'm trying to see who's listening while I say this. Here's a tip.
Oh,
Tip for intimacy.
oh. I've been doing I've been doing
Was
that
that the
to
French?
Ryan.
Was that the French like chef
Yeah.
in
Yeah, the
in The
French chef
Little
thing.
Mermaid?
I've been doing that, but pre-intimacy, and it really doesn't work for him.
No, no, free intimacy. Oh,
But
oh, no.
it cracks me up so much.
I've been pretending to be a large male French chef before we fuck. No, Jess. Like you're gonna carve him up. Oh
It
no.
kills me. It's so funny.
Papa's hungry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What's your
Okay,
tip?
so
I'll give
that's
first
not
tip
my
is
tip.
don't do that.
Don't do that. So stop doing it. If you're doing that, stop it immediately. I also liked when I said I have to look around to see who's listening, and I was looking around my apartment. Jess also looked, but you can't see anything. You can't
But
see
I
in
was
my
like, is
room.
Justin's head gonna pop out? Like, is he right there? Is he watching our recording?
He's not watching. He's not watching. Okay, so here's a tip for some. I'm gonna call this mix it up intimacy. I'm not even gonna call it a sex tip, but sex is involved. But it's an intimacy, delight, joy, mixing it up, playful adventure tip.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep saying tip, which is
Give us the tip.
your deep cuddling, right? Your sensual cuddling. You can do anything you want, but you both people agree that you're removing orgasm as the end
Ugh,
goal.
yeah.
Orgasm is not the goal. So you might end up orgasming, but you like announce, I think you got to communicate this one that
Hmm.
like that's not what we're trying to do here. And personally sometimes I need to do that because I if I'm stressed or like it takes a lot of focus from me or or sometimes even just the pressure of being like of thinking like this won't be good unless I, deliver the correct performance of getting the orgasm, whatever, which is not fucking true. And, you know, Justin's never communicated that to me, but it's my own pressure. I don't know why. That's just like
Yeah.
I've embodied this, taken on this idea that like it's only good if I orgasm. And listen, I do want to orgasm as much as possible, but and I do quite frequently, but I feel like we decided to do this the other day and we had like so much more creative fun during sex
Mm.
because it was exploratory and it wasn't like it was more about the journey and it wasn't about getting to the end goal. Because if I'm determined I have to get to this end goal, then there is a certain sequence of like chronological steps that is the most efficient way to get there, as opposed to like, oh, if we only have 15 minutes and I could either buckle down real serious and do step number one, step number two, step number three, an
Hmm.
orgasm, or we could do something like so much more present and playful and fun and silly and like we had a blast and guess what, I orgasmed. But
Right.
um it
That's the trick of it
was,
all.
yeah, I really recommend take it off the table. Both people take it off the table,
I like that.
see what happens.
I like that you need to communicate it. So basically,
I
I
think that
totally
helps me to
agree.
communicate it.
I agree. I agree because when Ryan and I started dating, he communicated to me at large about sex in general that he feels this way about he feels what you're saying, which is that the goal of sex should not be orgasm. Of course, we want it to happen and it will happen and that's great and fun and whatever, but that like the the norm and the way that we as a culture talk about sex is so focused on orgasm and like he just felt like that was backwards and I found that so
Wow, what a beautiful
refreshing
man. What a
coming
beautiful
from a
fucking
guy.
man.
Totally. It was beautiful, but it was also very hard for me to put into practice. So he said that And I
Yeah.
agreed with him. And I still found myself in our sexual encounters, like going through, once we figured out what the motions are that get us there,
Right.
like going through the motions to get us there. And then it becomes a really repetitive thing. And so I like this reminder. I like that it's something to communicate up top because even if this is your relationship to sex overall, which is what we have tried to make it in our relationship, that
Yeah.
like sex is not just for the end goal of orgasm and, to take that pressure off of both of us. Um,
And to kind of
still is
say, like,
helpful to say it
this is the
for
adventure
that
we're doing.
for
Yeah.
that specific, yeah, that specific interaction. Like
Yeah.
today it's actually like even more on purpose. It's like don't org. I mean, of course you did
Yeah.
and it's fun, but like I don't know. I
Well,
get
I
what you're
think,
saying, and I think there's a lot
yeah,
to it. I think that it removing that pressure allows so much more space for like, let's just see what happens.
I felt
Even
like
if
we
what
had so,
happens is that you don't want
yeah,
to, at some point you just, it was really nice and it was really fun and you feel closer and now you want to cuddle and watch a movie. Like
yeah.
what happens could be a number of things. It doesn't have to be some like crazy sexual experience, but it can just be something different that brings you closer.
Because the irony is, I think that sometimes, like, just because I orgasmed doesn't mean I felt like I had an intimate bonding experience.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you have that sex that feels like, oh, we were both just like, doing the work. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
And or I think when things get, if you ever get in too much of a routine of like we've figured out each other's moves, we've
Yeah.
figured out the moves we need, and then you've lost all the improvisation and like really being basically being present in intimacy. And I was reading about this sex game suggestion that was just like you can touch each other's bodies in any way, but like you can't penetrate, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like fucking whatever the fuck else you can think of, but you can't penetrate. And it's like just like those little restrictions to make you get like more creative and playful and exploratory and stuff. And then it made me think of like, and that's why it made me think of this. And it was honestly like it was so much fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fall is the time to get
Fall
back
is the time.
into, I think it is. It's cuffing season. It's like you want intimacy now more than ever, I think. I do. I feel like the wind and the way that it like blows through the trees makes me want to just cuddle
Oh my
and be
God.
intimate and be close,
I'm wet.
even if that doesn't mean I feel like in the summer I'm like, get it
Get off.
done.
Get it done. Get it done. You made a slapping motion, and
Yeah.
I thought that was you pushing. I thought that was you pushing him away and being like, I thought you were gonna be like, I don't want it.
Oh,
But it looks like
no.
it was your hand pushing
Pushing
Ryan.
his head to a certain place. Get
Okay.
it the fuck done. I don't have a
Get
lot of
it
time. We
done.
have so many weddings to go to. We have so many
Yeah.
trips. Get it fucking done. But
Yeah.
now it's a little more like, oh, like, let's, shall we?
Oh yeah. You're on the spectrum of get it done to
But that's me. That's me.
yeah. That's
I do
great.
think that this is an important reminder and reset.
Yeah.
And I had something else to say. I keep just getting in the
We're
of
getting
it
lost.
all.
You're getting lost in the hall.
Getting
We're getting
lost
lost
in
in
the
each other's vibes.
sauce.
While you think about it, I will say, when I was younger, it was really hard for me to orgasm. I didn't orgasm until I was 21. And I
Same.
tried. I tried, okay? I was trying. And literally, I remember like in college, I remember all my girlfriends being like appalled that I couldn't come. And they like took me to a sex shop and like made me get a vibrator or something. And they were like, you sit in the bathtub and you don't come out until you orgasm. And I was like, this is not working for me. And it took me a long time, it felt like, I just thought I couldn't. And I will say that was like a really horrible feeling. I'm sure there's listeners listening who struggle with that because it's pretty common for women.
Yeah.
And I will say, I felt, I think at that age, if I heard someone saying, like, if I heard someone preaching, like, oh, it's not all about the orgasm, I'd be like, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
I felt so excluded. It made, like, I felt so less than. I felt like so, um, like, not enough. I felt so, like, broken. And it was really frustrating. And it actually made me feel, I think, even more vulnerable in sex because I, like, obviously and clearly couldn't get the same reward out of it as a man could. And so it actually made me feel even less equal. So I don't know. I'm just saying that to say, like, I also value orgasming, and if you know, there's a middle ground, but it also like is not the same as intimacy or whatever.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think something that also happens with orgasm is there's a little bit of a like a game that happens where maybe one person is it's easier for them to come. It can happen to them faster. And so there's kind of this game that ends up happening of like, okay, you can come right now, but I haven't come yet, so we're gonna wait until I do and then you do it. Or vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. Like I'm feeling ready now, but I want to wait because he hasn't yet. Or I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like there's a weird like because, and this is so important to me, because the female orgasm has become more of a topic and like, down with the men. And of course, all of this is
Down
very
with the men.
heterosexual, but down with the men,
Oh.
down with the men who, don't prioritize that their partner is going to come. I agree with that. And also at the same time, it creates like an expectation. And then it creates a little bit of like a now we have to think about the sequence of events.
Yeah.
And if the goal is orgasm, then like, okay, does that mean I need to do it first? Because once he does it, he's not going to be able to like continue. And so now there's a little bit of like
I
you're
didn't get to
thinking,
have it. I
you're
didn't get to
thinking.
have it. I didn't get my
Yeah,
treat. I think if
that,
you're
but
with a
it's
guy
also
who,
just like you're
it is
thinking.
a lot
And
of thinking, but
thinking
also,
is not the most
yeah,
sensual, intimate
yeah,
thing.
there's a
It's
lot of
not the most exciting,
negotiating.
creative thing. Yeah.
I think a lot of that when you're dealing with a penis, though, and someone attached to a penis, a lot of it has to do with like how are they carrying themselves?
Yeah,
Because like a respectable man will not make you feel bad about like,
of course.
missing out on an orgasm every once in a while, because most women do it all the fucking time.
Of
So
course.
like
But
that's a bad guy.
yes, agree. But
And I've seen many of them. Yeah.
I've been with those guys.
Yeah, totally.
And now I'm not with one of those guys.
Yeah.
But I have been trained by those guys. I've been
Yeah.
trained by the bad ones.
Yeah.
So now
Trained by the bad
even
boys.
yeah, even with a good one who
I
doesn't think
know.
that way, who
Same.
literally told me early in our relationship that sex doesn't have to be all about orgasm, I still get, I still play these games in my own head and have this
Totally.
thought process in my own head of like, okay, he hasn't yet, and this and that, and he, and like,
Yeah.
it's not because of him.
I
It's
know.
because
And
of
I
all these
know.
experiences before. Yeah,
I
which I
feel
know,
the
it's
same.
not about
And I
Ryan.
feel the same.
I'm
You're
just saying
still
this is a
in it.
tendency that so many of us fall into because of the bad ones and because of the
Yeah.
ways that like sex has been treated by ex-partners or by society or whatever. And
Yeah.
it just makes it even if you're with someone who doesn't do that to you, I still hear those thoughts
Totally.
come up.
Oh, I have to
And
like
so to
check in
take
about it all the
orgasm
time.
off the table, yeah, just makes it so much. It's like, oh, I don't have to worry about any of that now. If I come, cool. If I don't, cool. Like,
Dude, do you know what I learned that blew my mind? Maybe everyone else already knows this because I never know anything, but like blue balls isn't a thing.
it's not a thing, correct?
It's not a
Announcement,
thing. Blue balls is, if no one has told you this, blue balls isn't a thing. It never was. It was just an idea
a
created
misogynistic.
it was just an idea to created to guilt people into letting them finish in you or wherever they finish. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't stop now because it'll be painful for me if you do. It's blue balls. You have to let me come.
So ridiculous.
I'm gonna kill you. Okay, can I tell you something else?
I feel like I have female blue balls, whatever that is. I'll tell you that much.
Well, you know what? Sometimes I do. I mean, I think when you're highly anticipating something and
Yeah.
it goes away, it's incredibly frustrating. But then I also feel fine fucking 2 minutes later.
Oh, 100%. I'm not dying from it, but I am
Yeah.
like, fuck. I'm like the bro that's like, it's like, I have blue balls right now because it is like, it is, it does require that focus sometimes.
Totally.
And if you lose it, It's just the worst feeling. So that's me. That's my blue
That's
balls.
I wish we could.
Feminism,
I wish we could
modern
figure out
feminism.
modern ha ha. I wish we could figure out the phonetic spelling of ha 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 so that it could be in
Yeah,
in the title of this episode. But there's no way we
there's
can.
no there's no way.
Ha ha
What were
ha.
you gonna say?
I was going to say something great and hilarious that actually a subscriber told me recently, and this cracked me up so hard. I was talking to a subscriber who was sharing with me about their like polyamorous relationship experience, and they were teaching me about that, and having this person also been with both men and with women. And I think she said, having had sex both with men and with women, she was like, I feel like now having sex with a man, the wrong man, it feels like the difference is that sex with a man feels like I'm having a threesome with him and his penis. And because like the penis is like this other thing,
A character.
another character we have to be like worried about. Whereas like having sex, like there's no third entity with two women. It's just like we are connecting.
Oh, that's so interesting.
It's just like me connecting to you as opposed to like me connecting to you and both of us catering to this penis.
Yeah, that's so funny. I love that.
It
That
did
makes
make me laugh.
sense.
I think not all guys make you feel that way, but they're
No.
definitely the ones who do. And I thought that cracked me up.
I love that you were
So
talking to a listener or a subscriber about polyamory. That's chic. How did you get
yeah,
into that conversation?
I don't know. She was just talking to me about her polyamory, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have so many questions. Let me
Yeah,
interrogate you. Can I interrogate you?" And she was like, "Yes."
that's so cool.
Yeah, it was very sweet. I'm trying to
Love
learn.
it.
Trying to learn, you guys.
That's good. It's all that's good. That's me
That's
being
really good.
really informed and educated. That's
You
still good.
nasty ass bitch.
Nasty
Someone,
hoes.
okay, someone drew a picture of us.
Oh my God, yeah. Let's
God bless
show
the
it. I saved
listeners.
it to my camera roll,
Okay,
obviously.
Abby, we're showing this. We're showing this in the YouTube video. Last week I asked for any of the bad artists, anyone who's an untalented artist, to draw an image of Jess and I of our essence,
I think
and we
this
got.
person's very talented.
That's true. I'm sorry, my mistake.
For the audio listeners, the drawing is stick figures of us. I'm zooming into
It's
myself right
perfect
now. I'm the one
realism.
in the
It's perfect
purple.
realism. She said this is. She said I think this is someone who's
Caroline.
never looked at us. She said, "Is that what she said?" She said it's an audio listener only. Actually, let me just pull up the fucking email.
Oh, they don't even know what we look like?
I don't know. It was
They must know
interesting.
what you look like from YouTube. They're probably from your YouTube.
I don't know. No, wait. They
Why
wrote in
not?
and said, "Hey girls, as a listen only audience member,
Okay.
attached is my interpretation of y'all's essence for Caroline's request in episode 91. Love the
So
pod.
it's
We love
it's a
you."
stick figure of me kind of like lying back, like I look like I'm lying on a bed or
It looks
something.
like
And
you're
I'm
trying to seduce me. You're spreading your
yeah,
legs open
I'm
to
spreading
me.
my legs a little bit. I'm wearing a purple dress and I'm smiling and my hair looks good. So thank you for
Yeah.
getting that right.
Like,
And then Caroline is standing kind of like in between the opening of my legs a little bit. And she's wearing an orange dress and her hair is up and she has the bangs.
I have
And
the
she has
bangs.
a really like confused face
I
going
think
on.
it's a face of despair. She did the
Dismay.
eyebrows. Yeah, dismay and maybe disapproval.
Yeah. And she like
Yeah.
looks concerned. We're
I've got a
both
hand on the
holding
hip.
hot mugs. And then there's a
Yeah.
window with the sun shining behind us. It's really, I'm going to post it to our Instagram on the day that this episode comes out, in
Well,
addition
it's
to
exactly what we look like.
you can see it on YouTube. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you're basically going to think it's a photo from our brand photo shoot, but it is in fact
I fucking love this.
a
Yeah,
professional
we have to
drawing.
post this. I just like that you're showing me. It looks like to me when I
I'm
saw
showing
this,
you the
I was
world.
like, first of all, that's exactly what I look like. And that's the expression I made as I looked at this photo. And Jess is very much seducing me, leaning back on one
I look
fucking
confident as
elbow.
hell.
She's giving me a peek. She's giving me a peek underneath.
I'm like, ho, how about it?
Yeah, that's
Like
the
that's
exact
my
pose.
I'm literally like wanna
Oh,
do
I love
something
it.
without a penis, without a third party. That's
Yeah.
that photo, that drawing sums up our whole episode
This is
today.
exactly what I wanted. I love this so
Send
fucking
us
much. It's
more.
going on the Instagram. It's going on the Instagram.
Yeah, now that we've shared this, we're requesting more. Now that you see a sample of something
Example.
that really captures our essence,
Follow
do
her good
more.
example. Okay.
Follow her good example. This has been not for everyone. I've been told to do the outro, so here it goes. I think that this week you should leave us an Apple review. It's been a minute since we've asked you to do it, and I want more. So please leave them. They make me feel good. Give us compliments that we will accept with thanks and by telling you that you're correct. We are awesome. Um
Include a
you
compliment about yourself. Include a compliment about yourself. Something that
ooh.
you can stand in your own 2 feet and say confidently, I recognize that I have a lot of value in XYZ way.
Whoa, that's really okay. Way to one up me. Do that. Do that. Do what Caroline said.
I'm trying to make the reviews a workbook personal growth exercise for
Yeah,
everybody.
it's actually just a therapy exercise. Assignments, homework assignments every week from your non-therapists who are us. Thanks for being here. Love ya.
You fucking nasty.